Let's move on to something else, though. We understand that fuel shipments have resumed from Saudi Arabia onto Egypt. With that being the case, can we say now relations between these two countries at least are getting better? And what is it that originally triggered this resumption in shipments?
Yes, although the reason for the resumption, or hence also the banning, the suspension of the shipments 5 months ago has not been explained until now, but it's obviously it comes with the naturalization or the improvement in relations between Saudi Arabia and Egypt. Politically, there have been differences concerning Syria, Yemen, and the islands in Egypt that Saudi Arabia says it owns. At those two islands in the Red Sea. But at this point, a lot of media and also statements coming from both political sides are saying that both countries are close friends, that any differences in political issues would not mean that they would it would affect their friendship and close ties. So all this warming up in relations and also the brief and favorable comments from both sides coincides with the return of the shipments, which means that, yes, both countries are now getting closer again like before at the moment.
Indeed. There's a sense of deja vu with my next question to you, Yasser, because this is something we talked about in October last year. Now with the Saudis presumably resuming their plan to send 700,000 tons of refined products to Egypt every month, where does that leave the plan B that the Egyptian government had negotiated, the 1 million barrels of crude oil coming in from Iraq at the end of this month?
Well, it's not only Iraq, Ramah. There's another shipment coming from Kuwait, and there's a deal with Libya. And what the government said quite clearly is that it will continue with these shipments because the consumption at this point, the market needs those other petroleum products as well. And I believe also it's a lesson from Egypt that it cannot rely on one source, whatever the reason. And it is continuing in its policy now of diversifying its sources. So it will continue with the contracts with the other suppliers of oil and petroleum products to Egypt.
Indeed, that's a pretty costly lesson in concentration risk. Thank you for the update. That's Yasser Hakim, of course, live from the Egyptian capital of Cairo.